Hey there, epic nerds. Welcome to Explosive Nerd HQ for the grand finale of Civil War II, page 21. The moment that will shake up the Marvel Universe. A hero takes center stage. A decision that changes everything. Subscribe to the channel. Give that explosive like. Comment what you expect. And share with the gang. Because the war is at its peak. Let's explode with this finale.
Captain America goes underground. Captain America is now living in hiding after refusing to sign the Superhuman Registration Act. The caption sets the tone. Cap is now operating off the grid. Under the cold blue light of an alley, two villains are chained back to back against a massive concrete pillar. Heavy metal chains coil tightly around their bodies, locking their arms and torsos. The pale light reveals fresh wounds, ripped costumes, and the aftermath of a brutal fight. Vulture, bald, his feathered costume torn apart, with loose feathers drifting to the ground, his furious blood running from a clearly broken nose. Vulture says angrily, voice filled with pain, "Lunatic broke my damn nose. I thought you idiots were supposed to be hunting him down." Or something. The words drip with accusation, aimed at whoever is nearby, or at his fellow prisoner. Grim Reaper remains silent, his shredded hood casting a shadow over tired, defeated eyes. The message is clear. Even as a fugitive, Captain America is still taking down criminals, just as relentless as ever, but now outside the law. The scene opens in a dimly lit underground bunker, where SHIELD soldiers stand guard, near a cracked concrete wall, their tactical gear reflecting the faint light of overhead lamps. The air is thick with tension. As they survey the area, radios crackling with static. Nearby, Vulture and Grim Reaper remain chained to the pillar, their defeated forms slumped slightly, blood and bruises still visible on their torn costumes. A group of SHIELD soldiers gathers, their voices cutting through the silence. One of them speaks. "More bad guys. Unit 5. Another soldier responds, checking his communicator. "Two up here," and the boys downstairs say, "They've got the trapster chained to a sink in the men's room." How many does the Vulture and the Grim Reaper take him up to? Commander Hill? Is that 8 of these freaks, or 9? Commander Hill steps forward, her authoritative presence commanding attention as she scans the prisoners. She speaks with a serious tone. 15, Sergeant. 15 supercriminals inside 72 hours. But the numbers don't add up. There's just no way Captain America could have taken down all these guys at once. It's physically impossible. A soldier tilts his head, puzzled, and asks, "Meaning?" Commander Hill's expression hardens as she replies, "Our nightmare scenario, Unit 5. I don't think he's on his own anymore." Newspaper headlines scream, "Captain America declared fugitive," and "Superhuman Registration Act nears vote," in bold black letters against a chaotic backdrop of printed images. Miriam Sharp sits in a brightly lit room, surrounded by microphones and cameras, giving interviews to a cluster of reporters. Miriam Sharp speaks with a steady voice. "Obviously, I'm disappointed Captain America's taking a stand like this, but I couldn't be happier about Iron Man coming on board. Still, there's 7 days before the act becomes law, so there's plenty of time for Cap to see sense." Iron Man leads a team, including She-Hulk, Mr. Fantastic, Yellow Jacket, and others through a ruined street in New York City, searching through debris. A defeated Doombot lies crumpled nearby, its parts scattered. The heroes move with purpose, scanning the area for signs of Captain America or other threats. Iron Man lowers slightly, addressing the team. "Take it easy, folks. The Doombot's down." A jubilant crowd gathers in a public square, waving signs that read, "Support the act," and "Register now." Their faces light up with cheers, celebrating the impending Superhuman Registration Act. The scene shows Iron Man in a ruined street in New York City, sifting through debris as he searches for traces of Captain America. Tigra, Captain Marvel, and She-Hulk join him, their focus intense as they move among the rubble. The faint hum of cheering crowds echoes from a distance, blending with the sound of shifting wreckage. Iron Man speaks with confidence. Hear that? That's the sound of people starting to believe in superheroes again. She-Hulk turns to him, her tone questioning. Will we still technically be superheroes after all this? Tony, won't we just be SHIELD agents when we're all on the federal payroll? Iron Man responds firmly, no, we're superheroes, Jennifer. We tackle supercrime, and we save people's lives. The only thing changing is that the kids, the amateurs, and the sociopaths are getting weeded out. Tigra steps forward, her voice sharp. What category does Captain America fall into? Iron Man. Iron Man pauses, then answers with resolve. He's wrong this time, Tigra. Trust me. Thing stands with the children of Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman inside the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four. The children play around him, while Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman work at a console with holographic displays. Invisible Woman looks at Mr. Fantastic, asking, how's the project coming along? Read. Mr. Fantastic responds, pointing to the holograms. Like a dream, Tony's big plan for the superhuman community is the most exciting thing we've ever worked on. Sue. He wasn't kidding when he said he'd revolutionize every metahuman in America. I haven't been this excited since I saw my first black hole. Invisible Woman folds her arms, saying, yeah, well, maybe I'd be excited too, if his genius plan didn't mean jail for half our Christmas card list. Mr. Fantastic nods, replying, agreed, but they don't leave us any choice if they refuse to register, honey. Just take a look at my projections if you need to see the social dangers they're creating. Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic are in the laboratory, inside the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four, examining a complex set of holographic charts and data projections. Invisible Woman looks confused, asking, what are you talking about? This is gobbledygook. Mr. Fantastic explains, pointing to the holograms. No, it's the exponential curve. The number of super beings is following, and the apocalypse we're facing if unlicensed activity isn't brought under control. Tony's secret plan is an amazing opportunity for us, darling. You should hear the ideas he and Hank Pym have been tossing around. They're like concept machines. I don't think I've ever seen people this supercharged. Invisible Woman narrows her eyes, questioning, what's this, number 42 thing? Mr. Fantastic hesitates, replying, I'm sorry, Susan, but I'm afraid that's classified information. Invisible Woman sighs, saying, oh, right, well, I guess it's time. I was making tracks for the hospital. Anyway, Mr. Fantastic nods, adding, give Johnny all my love. Robbie Robertson and Jonah Jameson are in the office, inside the Daily Bugle, discussing news with papers and phones scattered around. Reporters, including Betty Brant, work in the background. Robbie Robertson speaks up. Jonah, we just got word about a huge press conference Tony Stark is holding tomorrow morning. Urich is in, but Parker's out of town. Who do you want to send in his place? Jonah? Jonah Jameson looks distant, replying, sorry, Robbie. Miles away, just thinking about how at midnight tonight, everything this newspaper has ever campaigned for officially becomes law. No more masks, and no more excuses about creepy secret identities. These clowns finally work for SHIELD, or they throw their butts in jail. Robbie Robertson questions, you really think the superheroes are all going to sign up? Jonah Jameson smirks.
No.
Just the smart ones. Outside, Spider-Man soars through New York City in his sleek red and gold technological suit, its mechanical arms extending gracefully as he swings between buildings. Happy Hogan and Tony Stark are in the penthouse. Inside Tony Stark's penthouse, seated on opposite sofas, both dressed in business suits. Tony Stark rests his hands together thoughtfully. Happy Hogan speaks. 20 minutes to go. Tony, word from S.H.I.E.L.D. is that we're looking at 38 signatures already. That's pretty much what you estimated, right? Tony Stark nods. Pretty much. Happy. Any word from Cap? Happy Hogan replies, only that he's putting his own team together, and he'll see this thing to the finish. Tony Stark lowers his head, murmuring, oh, God, please let us be doing the right thing here. Outside, the deserted streets of Times Square at midnight are silent as a large electronic panel displays Registration Act becomes law, marking the critical moment. The scene opens 24 hours later with Patriot fleeing across rooftops pursued by S.H.I.E.L.D. Helicopters. He leaps between buildings, glancing back as the helicopters close in. Patriot pants heavily as he flees. Huff, 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 huff. An agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in one of the helicopters reports, unregistered minor tried to foil a robbery in costume, Air Command, identified as codename Patriot from the Young Avengers. Am currently in pursuit. In the control tower, another agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. responds, Roger that, Foxtrot 4. Permission to use tranquilizers and minimum force. The helicopters maneuver closer, and as Patriot leaps from one building to another, several tranquilizer darts are fired toward him, streaking through the air. He twists mid-leap, focused on his escape as the agents prepare to close in. An agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a helicopter fires at Patriot, who falls through the air, twisting as he descends. The agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. exclaims, this little punk is bulletproof now? Another agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. mutters, damn info base, I thought we had folks. Updating this thing, Patriot crashes into a building, through a window, shattering glass and debris everywhere with a sound of pain. On! Patriot pushes himself up from the floor, shards of glass crunching under his boots. He's just crashed in through the high-rise windows after leaping from the terrace of the building next door. He presses a hand to his comm, urgency in his voice. Patriot, guys, we gotta get out of here. S.H.I.E.L.D. just caught me breaking up a mugging, and now they're all over me. This is serious. These guys are not messing around. Outside, a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicopter hovers into position. The side door slides open, and canisters drop, hissing, as they fall toward the shattered opening. The devices clatter to the floor, near Patriot rolling and spewing thick gas. Patriot, oh, boy! A deafening blast erupts, shattering every window on the floor. The shockwave slams through the room, sending glass raining outward as choking smoke fills the air, and the force knocks everything in its path. The blast shakes the entire block. The windows of the building, where the Patriot stood, shatter under the force of the impact, as thick clouds of gas spread through the air. On the street, S.H.I.E.L.D. agents approach an armored vehicle. One of them speaks into his comm. You sure? That kid's indestructible? Another replies, he'll be fine. It's the office block I'm worried about, dude. Command said, property damages gotta be kept to a minimum or it's head rolling time. The young heroes are in cuffs. Wiccan is shoved into the transport, while Hulkling, Stature, and Hawkeye 2 are escorted at gunpoint. An agent glares at the prisoners and says, you see the trouble you caused? You see what happens when you try to be some big bad vigilante like your buddy Captain America? Elsewhere in the city, inside a monitoring room, Daredevil watches the footage on the big screen. He says, SHIELD unit just picked up the Young Avengers on West 23rd. Should we get a posse together and intercept? Seated at the computer, Luke Cage answers with a smirk. Cap and the Falcon are already undercover on the scene. Daredevil, cocky Mr. Wilson, even told me to get the damn coffee on. The scene opens with a SHIELD armored vehicle speeding along a highway, flanked by police cars, following closely behind, transporting captured heroes, Wiccan, Hulkling, and others who oppose the Registration Act, held in the rear compartment. Inside the armored vehicle, the agent on the left gestures animatedly, speaking with frustration, while Steve Rogers, disguised as a SHIELD agent, grips the steering wheel, focusing on the road. The agent on the left says, "See, this is what I'm talking about. These kids are what, 16 years old, 17 tops? And they're out there, in their pantyhose, laughing in our faces. It's not like we're banning them, man. Nobody's stopping them, doing their thing. Hell, they're even paying these clowns to go official now. But they don't get a buzz out of being legit. Freaks only get off on the masks and that mystery man garbage. Gonna be one cold shower when they see the new pen they're building for these super creeps. You heard about this place? This number 42 thing they're constructing?" Frank in Supplies said, "You're not even allowed to look at the blueprints without these weird-ass special goggles." Steve Rogers, disguised as a SHIELD agent, visibly annoyed, snaps, "You know something, fella? You talk too much." In a sudden move, Steve Rogers violently shoves the other agent toward the door, smashing through it with force. The door and the agent are flung out onto the highway, the impact tearing the door apart as the armored vehicle continues moving with the captured heroes inside. The scene opens with the SHIELD armored vehicle speeding along the highway. The agent, thrown out violently by Steve Rogers, falls through the air, shouting, "Son Ofa!" Behind, police cars swerve to avoid him, crashing into each other and rolling over. Inside the armored vehicle, Falcon, disguised as a SHIELD agent, leans toward the rear compartment, where Wiccan, Hulkling, and other captured heroes who oppose the Registration Act are held. He speaks urgently, "Wiccan, I need you to rustle up one of your teleportation spells, and I need it now. Understand?" Wiccan, hesitant but compliant, responds, "Why yes, sir." Above, agents of SHIELD, in helicopters, broadcast a frantic alert. "Attention all units. In the George Washington Bridge area, suspected hijacking of SHIELD Bus 1. Please attend. I repeat, please attend." The armored vehicle continues moving. As Falcon watches, Wiccan begin to focus. The crashed police cars, smoking in the distance. Steve Rogers, disguised as a SHIELD agent, drives the armored vehicle, braking hard, before a police roadblock ahead. Gripping the wheel tightly, he shouts, "Cops are blocking the road." Already, Falcon, inside, Falcon, also disguised, turns to Wiccan, in the rear compartment, and urges, "Would you hurry up with that freaking spell?" Wiccan, straining with effort, chants disjointedly, "I want to be somewhere else. I want to be somewhere else." Above, agents of SHIELD, in helicopters, issue commands, "Lunatics are gonna kill themselves. Block the road, and stand well back." Roger that. Air support. As Wiccan's spell takes effect, blue lightning-like circular rays envelop the armored vehicle. With Wiccan's spell activated, blue circular rays envelop the vehicle, transforming it into a mass of energy that passes between the parked police cars, leaving the officer stunned as the armored vehicle vanishes in a brilliant flash. The teleportation succeeds, and the armored vehicle reappears in a safe location, the impact of materialization causing the vehicle to tremble violently. Inside the armored vehicle, Wiccan and the others fall with the impact, rolling across the floor. As the vehicle comes to an abrupt stop, they step out of the armored vehicle, and Stature gasps, "Oh, God, what's happening? Where are we?" White Tiger stands in the secure SHIELD safe house. Number 23, welcoming the newly arrived heroes as allies, and declares, "Congratulations, children. You just joined the resistance." Stature, looking around in confusion, asks, What is this place?" Steve Rogers, stepping forward, explains, "Shield Safe House, number 23. One of 28 such places peppering the globe, and only known to 33rd degree SHIELD officers." Hulkling, skeptical, inquires, "And how many of them are there exactly?" Steve Rogers replies, firmly, "Just Nick Fury." Daredevil, leaning against a wall, adds, "He's underground now too, and can only be contacted via scrambler phone. But he said, we could use this place for as long as we like. And he's already working on our new secret IDS." Patriot, crossing his arms, challenges, "Why do we need new secret identities?" White Tiger, with a reassuring nod, responds, "Your old ones are probably compromised, Patriot, and you're going to need somewhere to hide when we aren't out there kicking ass and taking names." Steve Rogers, with a determined look, states, "This is where we live for the duration. Tony's crew is planning something huge out there, and this is where we start to fight back." Colleen Wing rushes in, her expression urgent. "Guys, I think you better see this." In Washington, D.C., Tony Stark stands at a podium in a brightly lit conference room, addressing a gathered crowd, and begins, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure I don't have to introduce you to Mrs. Miriam Sharp. Mrs. Sharp, you may recall, lost her son in the Stanford incident and kick-started my passion for the federal employment of all superheroes." Tony Stark, undeterred, continues, "Likewise, I'm pretty sure Spider-Man needs no introduction." At the X-Men's mansion, Logan watches the broadcast on a television, scowling as he mutters, "Hell's going on now?" In a hospital room, Invisible Woman sits beside her brother, the Human Torch, who is recovering from a bottle attack outside a nightclub. She watches the same broadcast on a small TV and interjects with concern, "I hope you know what you're doing here, Tony." Spider-Man stands at a podium in a crowded press conference, addressing the audience with a nervous tone. As most of you probably know, I've guarded my secret identity pretty carefully over the years, and it's only after a long talk with my wife and family that I've decided to take the following step." He continues, gesturing earnestly, "See, the Registration Act gives us a choice. We can continue the trend that Captain America advocates and have people with powers completely unchecked, or superheroes can go legitimate and earn back a little public trust." At the Daily Bugle, a reporter, Grant, raises her hand. "Mr. Jameson?" Jonah Jameson, seated nearby with a scowl, snaps, "Miss Grant, you even think about asking me what I want for breakfast, and you're fired, little lady." Spider-Man, pausing for effect, removes his mask and declares with pride, "I'm not wearing my old mask because I'm ashamed of what I do. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm here right now to prove it." Spider-Man fills the frame in a powerful close-up, his unmasked face radiating determination as he declares, "My name is Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old." At the Daily Bugle, Grant clamps her hand over her mouth in shock upon learning Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and seeing her boss, Jonah Jameson, tumble backward out of his chair. The page explodes into a breathtaking spectacle, a majestic close-up of Spider-Man, now Peter Parker, commanding the frame. His unmasked face glows under the warm golden beams of spotlights, piercing the dimly lit room, every line of determination and vulnerability etched into his features, his deep brown eyes locking onto the crowd with years of battle-hardened resolve. Behind him, a towering backdrop bears the embossed metallic seal of the Registration Act, its surface shimmering with the cascading flashes of cameras like falling stars. The audience, a vibrant sea of journalists and onlookers, sits in awed silence. Their silhouettes carved by the light faces a mosaic of wonder and reverence. Microphones gleam like jewels. Camera lenses glint with precision, and reflections dance in the glasses of the stunned crowd, weaving a tapestry of tension and admiration. To the left, an American flag ripples gently, its vivid colors a stark contrast to the room's solemn tone, while to the right, a massive screen magnifies Peter's face in stunning detail, each contour of his confident expression amplified. The air hums with electric anticipation, dust particles swirling in the spotlight beams like ethereal spirits, the polished floor mirroring the scene in a flawless reflection, doubling the grandeur of this historic moment. Spider-Man raises his chin, his voice resonating with a blend of challenge and pride. Any questions?
Hey there, epic nerds. Civil War II ended with a moment that changed everything. But hold on tight, because Civil War III is coming with a bang. Subscribe to the channel, give it that explosive like, share it with your friends, and comment who's with Cap and who's with Tony. 2 videos a week, and Explosive Nerd HQ is ready for more war. Until next time.